On YouTube, and welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank you all so much for joining me for this being my review for RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18, Episode 11. So we're at the roast. One of my favorite episodes of the season. Every season, I love a good roast, and this one was, I'd say, decent. I do think that there were three queens that did stand out as great. Some others not so much, but we'll get to it. So we are roasting the legendary Alyssa Edwards. Alyssa Edwards is one of my favorite queens from RuPaul's Drag Race. I love Alyssa. I haven't been the biggest fan of her drag per se, but I just love her personality. I think she's amazing for TV. She's awesome. She's great. She's amazing. I always love seeing her on the pit stop as a special guest host. It's always great with Alyssa. So the queens are tasked with roasting Alyssa Edwards as well as the rest of the queens. So first up, we had Discord Adams. I was a little bit confused by what Discord was wearing. She had this, this dress that was kind of cut out in the front, and there was a hood over it, sort of kind of giving Grace Jones a little bit. And she had a couple of jokes in there, just a couple. Wasn't necessarily that funny. Her drink spilled during her set. She really didn't really recover that well from it, because she could have said, like the judges said, she could have said, who's going to refill my glass, or whatever the case might have been. But I don't think Discord was one of the worst per se, because I really think that there were two that were the absolute worst, and of course they were in the bottom two. But Discord did okay, but I have a feeling that Discord is probably not going to win a challenge this season. I just have a feeling, and I'm so surprised that she is still here. I don't know if she's still on the show because of her walk, and they just want to showcase her awkward walk every single week. I don't know what the case is. For me, she's clearly not winning. Once again, she hasn't won a challenge just yet. But I will say, I do see why she really hasn't ended up in the bottom two just yet. Sort of, kind of. I'd have to think back on the previous episodes to see like what week she would have deserved to be in the bottom two. But once again, sorry for the finger in the camera. Once again, she was what we would call a filler queen. So yeah, there's that for Discord Adams, and I did not enjoy her swept away runway. For me, I understand she was supposed to be a motorcycle that was on fire, sort of kind of like Ghost Rider, I guess. But for me, it just, the fire didn't look like fire. It didn't make much sense. I didn't like it. It looked a little cheap. But I will say I did like the design of the motorcycle part in the front of her outfit. But, and I did like the flames that were sort of kind of on her legs. I thought that was cute. But that whole flame that was behind her, and then it really wasn't blowing in the wind like that. So, yeah, not the best week for Discord Adams. But she's still here. So next we have Jane Don't. Jane Don't, probably what most people that I've seen review and reacting to the show, was probably the best of the night. She was good. She was really, really good. But you know who I'm rooting for. So anyways, Jane Don't did have probably the most laughs, and the most, what people would consider jokes. For a roast, like Jane Don't was the purest roast person on the panel. Like, she actually roasted everyone, whereas some others, use other things to, to get the win. But I did like a lot of Jane Done's jokes, calling Ross an FAGGOT, from Drew Barrymore's show. I thought that was interesting. But, here's my thing about the roast. So let me go ahead and get this out the way. There's a very fine line that you have to tread when you're on RuPaul's Drag Race doing a roast. Like, there's a certain thing that you have to do. You can't be too mean. Like some would say, Utica during season 13's roast was a little bit too mean, and that's why she got eliminated on during that roast. You can't be not funny. Well, that's one thing that you can't do. You have to be at least funny. But for me, a roast is you being as mean as possible in all of your jokes. That's, to me, what it is. And maybe because it's RuPaul's Drag Race that they don't want to take it that far. They just want it to be pretty funny, sort of kind of disrespectful. I don't know what they are the judges on RuPaul's Drag Race are looking for when it comes to a roast. It's just a sweet spot that you have to hit, and Jane don't definitely hit that sweet spot. I mean, calling Ross an FAGGOT on stage is going quite a bit, and to say that, I think it was either Mikey Meeks or Nene Coco, something about her ass, and she went far. But that's, to me, that's what you're supposed to do on a roast. And to me, I feel as though Jane Don't probably did deserve to win. She was the best at the roast, hands down. I'm not upset that she did win, but I mean, Jane Don't probably did the best job as far as a roasting challenge is concerned. I did not like her swept away runway at all, at all, at all. The hat on her head looked weird. I've never seen a hat like that before. She had a red wig under it. She had a whole lot of fringe going on her outfit. It was a whole lot. And she kept her arms out and she kept her body facing forward the entire time she was on the runway. I'm sorry, but I just did not like Jane Done's outfit at all, at all. Next, we have Juicy Love Dion. Juicy Love Dion probably did the worst out of everyone. I thought she looked gorgeous. Juicy Love Dion has a beautiful mug. Beautiful mug. I mean, she's a gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Gorgeous, gorgeous girl. But we know that Juicy Love Dion is not a comedian. She's not going to do well necessarily at the comedy or acting challenges. And the thing that frustrates me the most about Juicy Love Dion, and I would say this about Mia Starr, although Mia Starr was my favorite queen this season. They're sort of kind of one-dimensional queens. They're great at lip syncing. They're great at performing, but that's what they're most known for. And so they don't venture out into the other aspects of drag. Now, I don't know what acting and being, I guess being a comedian, with hosting and things of that nature, that would probably be really important. But other than that, they're great at performing, and that is a great, great thing for you to be able to do, and you have to be able to do as a drag queen. If you can't perform, then that's example number one, exhibit number one as to what you should be able to do very well as a drag queen performer, is to be able to perform. But Juicy's just not good at these comedy and these acting challenges. Although she did win the first acting challenge, which was Already Are Live, but it's just, Juicy's just not good at the comedy. She's not at all, and she bombed. And I felt so sorry for her, but she takes it on the chin every single time. I'm so glad that she doesn't really get discouraged about the things that she doesn't do well. I'm glad that we don't see her crying about, if anything, the only thing we've seen Juicy crying about is the girls who have been eliminated. So I'm really happy that Juicy Love Dion knows who she is as a queen, knows what she's capable of, knows what she will do well at, and knows what she won't do well at. And I appreciate that about Juicy. Now, Juicy swept away runway. Whew. It literally looked like she had a fitted bed sheet behind her. I thought her outfit in the front was decent. I loved her hair, but some people who were watching the show said that she was kind of cheating for using what looked like a fitted sheet or a bonnet behind her. I mean, it looked beautiful in the wind, it was a great concept, but the outfit itself is supposed to be moving, and the outfit itself really wasn't moving. It was just that fitted sheet that was wrapped up behind her. But anyways, that's all there is to it with Juicy Love Dion. I'm glad that she is still here. Spoiler, she won the lip sync against Kenya Pleaser. But yeah, it is what it is. Next up, we have my favorite queen that's left in the competition, because of course Mia Starr is my favorite of the season, but my favorite queen that is still in the competition is Darlene Mitchell. And I was thinking last night of Darlene's name, and it just brought me back to Darlene McBride from Mad TV, the country singer who used to sing all those racist songs. It was always so funny to me. But anyways, Darlene Mitchell, although she won the roast, she did roast people, yes, but she won because of the props and the setups that she used during her set. And so I feel as though Darlene Mitchell played the game the way that she wanted to play it and the way that she thought she would be able to win the challenge. And she was able to do that. And I think Darlene was smart because I don't think Darlene is one to really roast people or be mean to people or talk bad about people, which is to me is what a roast is all about, being mean and talking bad about people. Darlene used props, and you said, "Oh, a burger," harkening back to Plain Jane from her season 16. Oh, I'm going to grab a win from under this table, and she pulled out a banana. Referencing Nymphia Wynn from season 16 as well. She said, a couple of things like, talking about Alyssa's ego, Kenya Pleaser, Brock Coleslaw, and whatever it is to the roast because she thought it was an actual roast. I thought those were pretty funny jokes. But Darlene just kind of mixed it up and made it her own, and I did appreciate that. She did it in a way that makes her the most comfortable, and she attacked the challenge in a way that she thought she would be able to get away with it, and she definitely did get away with it. It was very extremely campy. I didn't necessarily like the joke with the red nose. Let's like make it funny with the red nose. It's not that funny, but again, Darlene did it the way that she wanted to do it. And I appreciate her staying true to her aesthetic as a drag queen and staying true to her style of comedy as a drag queen. And I can appreciate that. And Darlene Mitchell, I know a lot of people did not necessarily love her runway outfit, but I loved the entire concept of it. She looked like, a rich woman, being caught in a windstorm with her umbrella. I thought she looked beautiful. Like she honestly had my favorite swept away outfit out of everyone on out of everyone that is left. She had my favorite runway outfit. I thought it was awesome. Awesome. And I'm not doing this in any particular order because I can't necessarily remember the order, but we didn't have Nene Coco. First of all, I did not recognize that was Nene Coco during the actual roasting challenge. Like the way that she had her hair, her makeup, and the outfit that she was wearing, like it didn't look like something that she would wear, or I didn't recognize her. But Nene did okay. She did okay. She had a couple jokes that landed, saying that we had the same she and Alyssa had the same foundation, white privilege, and I thought that was an interesting, an interesting joke. But overall, she really didn't do the best. She really didn't get that many laughs. And this is where I go back to what I was saying earlier in the review is that, you have to find the line between being too mean and being funny. And Michelle said that she saw what everyone meant by her being a little bit mean. But me personally, I didn't think her jokes went that far, at least not in my opinion. So I don't know. She wasn't the best, but she definitely wasn't the worst, at least not in my opinion either. So it is what it is. But it wasn't a successful night for Nene Coco. As far as her swept away runway, so I like the concept of her runway. However, her outfit itself was not being swept away in the wind. Her outfit itself was not really moving. She used props as, she was supposed to be a widow and, she had her husband's ashes and, she threw the ashes in the air, and that's what the swept away part of her presentation was. And the outfit was gorgeous. I love the feathers that were, sticking out from her outfit. I loved the outfit itself, but just for the actual category, I don't think it really fit the category necessarily. Because once again, when I think of swept away, I'm thinking your actual outfit itself is supposed to be what's blowing in the wind. But anyways, that's all I have for Nene Coco. So next we have Kenya Pleaser. Kenya Pleaser, as RuPaul said during the judging, during the constructive criticism, that Kenya has been getting by in this competition because of her charisma and her personality. But for me, she isn't for me like the best queen. Like she isn't the most polished queen. She's just out there doing her thing, and that's great for her. She's gotten this far in the competition. Like she's beaten some great competition. Like I did not expect Kenya to last this long. Kenya seemed to be leaning on her, kind of gay isms, like, yes, girl, and yes, God, and those types of things. And I sort of kind of liken Kenya Pleaser to the way that Laganja Estranja was acting during the sixth season, using a lot of gay lingo and things of that nature. And they called Laganja Estranja out during her season for doing that. Now, I will say that Laganja was leaning it into it a little bit more than Kenya has all this season. But to me, they're sort of kind of one and the same as far as their gay lingo aesthetic is concerned. So it is what it is, but Kenya did not do great. I think she might have had one or two jokes that were okay. But Kenya's not a comedy queen necessarily. And so, she might be funny, like just off the cuff, but as far as writing down jokes and things of that nature, she's not the best at it. As far as her swept away runway is concerned, I thought the fairy look, I loved the pigtail wig that she had on. I thought it was really cute. But the actual outfit itself, like the wings in the back, they looked a little weird to me. Although it was flowing in the wind, it wasn't really flowing like that. Um, so yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of Kenya's runway outfit. And then last but not least, we have Mikey Meeks. Mikey Meeks did pretty good. She probably for me was the third best. As far as the roasting is concerned, the fact that she was kind of leaning on her hand and to kind of push the joke forward, to me, I thought that was a little tacky, just a little bit tacky. It's like, it's time for you to laugh now. Like, it was, she did pretty good. Don't get me wrong. Like, once again, I think she was about the third best out of the entire night. She just was not my favorite. But she did do well in the challenge. And so congratulations to Mikey Meeks. And as far as her runway outfit, like, ever since I've been watching Nina Bonina Brown's reviews on YouTube, or reactions rather on YouTube of the show, I've come to appreciate giving body on the runway. And Mikey Meeks, although the outfit was pretty and it did fit the category, she had some fabric that was being swept away behind her. So I thought that was great. But there was no body with it. And, at least do body from the waist down. But, a lot of people are like, well, if you do body from the waist down, you have to do it up top as well. But, it's, the outfit would have looked better and it would have come across better. It would have landed better if she had a little body on her. Yes, what wasn't my favorite swept away runway. So excuse me. So the bottom two are Juicy Love Dion and Kenya Pleaser. And I believe this lip sync song was Total Eclipse of the Heart, if I'm not mistaken. Juicy has shown herself to be an amazing lip syncer. And Kenya called it on the first episode. She's going to slay these lip syncs. And she has. Like, she was evoking so much emotion during that lip sync. She had her fitted sheet flowing in the wind beautifully throughout the entire lip sync. She incorporated the bed sheet in her entire performance. She was, wrapping it around herself and all this good stuff. So Juicy definitely deserved that Shantae You Stay. And Kenya has been eliminated. Once again, congratulations to Kenya. She's from my home state, South Carolina. She's from Sumter, South Carolina. So I'm so happy that she was able to have this opportunity. And I'm so happy that she had the opportunity to thank RuPaul for giving her a platform to expose herself to the world. So I thought it was a pretty good episode. Next episode is the makeover. My favorite challenge of this season has always been the makeovers. So we'll see what happens on the next episode. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big white subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Takes less than a second to mash that thing. So go ahead and mash it for a brother. Be sure to click the thumbs up on this video. Let me know you're enjoying the content I'm putting out on my channel. Be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Who did you think did the best during the roast? Do you think Darlene Mitchell deserved to win? I'm not upset about it. I'm happy for Darlene, and I have a feeling that this will probably be her only win for the season, to be honest. Because I'm not sure how she's going to do in the makeover challenge. But it is what it is. I still think to this day that Jane Don't is going to win the entire season. I will not get off of that. She's the most deserving. She's the most well-rounded queen out of all the queens that have been on this season. So Jane Don't for the win for sure. Press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTubing streets. Be sure to join me every Thursday night at 8 p.m. for my live Hot Topics and Social Commentary show. I go live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. with my sister Prophetic Fire Reiki, as well as our friend Bianca Edwards. We always have a great time talking about the latest happenings and goings on in the world. So join me every Thursday night at 8 p.m. for live Hot Topics and Social Commentary. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.